That was funny.
I know it's so
Yeah.
funny. I love. So we live. So
Yeah.
what's going on, Fusion fam?
What's up? What's up, man? It's your guy Chad,
And I'm Jeremy.
and together this collective makes Fusion high.
We've been flexing lately,
boom,
y'all.
boom.
I know y'all probably laughing.
Yeah.
Hey, go
Oh,
flex
take it
on.
to the gun show. No, take it.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Oh,
There you go, Patrick.
yeah. Ooh.
There you go.
With the guns, man. Heavy set over here with the
Yeah,
guns,
yeah.
man. Just
You see this guy? Look at me.
man, and trust me, I ain't looking a long time, man.
That's all that good cooking that you were missing out on. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
no.
right? No, just think about it. You didn't bring me in either. Thank you for
That was
that.
just enough for the kids. Me.
Oh,
My niece
that's
talking,
all
my
it is,
great
huh?
niece had son. We just sitting and bullshitting. We
Yeah.
gotta introduce these lovely gentlemen
Yeah,
here.
man.
Go ahead and introduce them.
Man, oh my gosh. Back here we have Patrick Hickey Jr.
What up,
and
Pat?
John Spudisi.
How you doing?
Did I put
Spud
Spudisi?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, I got it. Leave me alone.
Spud, yeah, see.
You
that's
got it.
right.
Man,
You-
thank you guys for joining us so much,
Yes.
man. Patrick, we've been looking forward to you, but now you brought your co-founder and partner in crime here. So, man, why don't you
Yes,
guys
sir.
tell us what brings you to the dance? What's going on?
What's going on?
Oh, comic books, massive amounts of creativity and a passion for creating awesome crap.
I like it.
Awesome crap.
Yeah,
On a t-shirt, Jack.
Yeah. I make awesome crap, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
that's it. I'm creator of everything awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
No, but Patrick and I just launched a Kickstarter for a company we just launched called Legacy Comics, and we're coming out with these great books, and seriously, you guys aren't going to want to miss it. And both Patrick and I have a love for comic books, and that's why we decided to team up and launch a company that we think is revolutionary within the industry.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, we just saw there's a ton of competition right now in the comic book industry.
Yeah.
There's a global paper shortage. There are unions being formed in the comic book industry. This is a super wild time to get involved in the comic book industry. But we are so confident in our own abilities and in our ability to bring in quality people that we totally believe in ourselves, and we're really working super hard. And I think a testament to that was the fact that our Kickstarter was funded in less than 5 hours. We just got a ton of support. Like, there's not many people that can announce a company on a Monday, launch a Kickstarter on a Friday, and get funded on the same day. So we are super hyped right now. We are super proud. The good news does not seem to stop. And I think that's a byproduct of like how well John and I complement one another, and how hard we've worked over the past, John, maybe 5 months planning this.
Just 5 months?
Yeah,
That's
man.
incredible.
Just
Seems
5
like they
months.
work of like years.
5 months.
And all man.
No, because Patrick and I know the industry so well, so it's like he's been in the industry for a while. I've been in it for such a long time, as an artist myself. And, it's just we've both had ideas on how a comic book publisher should go, should be run. And of course, we've come up with our own ideas and our own benefits within the company that we offer our creators. But at the same time, we're running it as a company that's creative and fun. We're going to be, it's just a great team that we've put together so far, because it's not going to stop. We're going to start accepting submissions from creators, and, we're just going to grow from here. But at the same time, it's a lot of fun to do,
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we hit this from so many different angles. So it's just like you guys see John set up. He's awesome. He's an awesome vlogger. He understands what it's like to produce high quality video content.
Yeah.
And you have me on the other hand. I've been a journalist and a writer for 18 years. So it's like I've written for daily updated websites for forever. So it's just like our site has been, since we announced it, has been rocking with like daily content. The socials are updated every single day, and it's just like there aren't many indie comic book companies that, one, even have content on their site, and then two, that are updated daily with articles that interact with their audience. Like John and I early on were like, this is not an artist first company. This is not a
No.
writer first company. This is a creator first company. But I like to take that even like a step further. We're like a fan first company.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that's refreshing, man. That's
Yeah.
refreshing to
like,
hear.
you know, like we want our fans to be happy. We interact with them as many different ways as possible. And our first 5 books, like there's not a lemon there.
Right.
We're super hyped for them. People are super hyped for them.
Yeah.
And we're just growing. We're like Flintstone vitamins right now. We're like 10 billion strong. You know? So
Yeah, man, you guys have some pretty dope content coming out, man. We were
Yeah.
checking your books out before. Conjury we're already familiar with, which,
Yeah.
oh man, the latest chapter, awesome.
thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
yes. So Jay, what new comics that they have are you excited about?
Oh, the job.
The Job, yeah.
The job.
The
'Cause you're a
Job.
big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You guys are wrestling
He knows
fans.
about
Yep.
that too,
Yeah.
Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like to hear more about it. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Now I can't wait.
Yeah, I was like, man, I can't wait to see this. Oh my god, I can't wait to see this come to life. So,
Yeah.
what was your inspiration for that?
Yeah.
So I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. And if you look behind John, he's got some title belts.
Yeah.
him.
Intercontinental.
Yeah. And John
I'm
does
a bit of
John-
a connoisseur myself.
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
mine are made out of styrofoam, so
Yeah,
they're
oh.
not that good.
Oh, okay, man. I got one signed by Rick Flair. Signed by that man. Styrofoam too. It works though.
John's got another podcast called The Basement Surge, and I was watching a video. I think it was like a week ago. You like gave Frank the Stunner, and I was just like, yeah, this is. he's
Oh,
awesome.
I
Yeah.
stunned my co-host right there on the show, so it
Yeah,
was
it
pretty
was
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
So I think if you're like our age in your 30s and stuff like that, you grew up like in one way or another, at least appreciating wrestling. Me, on the other hand, I love wrestling. I watch Ring of Honor. Well, what used to be Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You know, WWE, NXT, New Japan, AAA. Like I watch 10, 15 hours a week of wrestling. AEW, of course.
Of course.
So what happened was I had a friend that's an actor, and we were talking, and this was like right after I signed the contract for my 4th Minds Behind the Games book.
Right.
And he was like, how come you've never written a play? And I'm like, I hate you. I hate you. And he's like, why? I'm like, because now I got to do it. And it was like November of 2019.
Yeah.
And I banged it out in like a week. And I was super, yeah. And then what happened was he was like, dude, I can get a producer for this. Like, and he wanted to play the main character and stuff like that. He wanted to play Dan. And he was looking for producers and stuff. He's like, we could totally make this happen. And then February, he's like, dude, I think like I got a theater that's gonna like, we can do this, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, COVID. So then it was just like, during COVID, I really hunkered down and I started writing like 3 more Minds Behind the Games books. And then I had already like been pitching Condry to a bunch of places, and then Condry got picked up by a publisher, and then we had that going for a while. And then I had a conversation with the publisher, and I was just like, oh, I got this wrestling comic, and there was like no bite. And I was just like, this idea is great.
Right.
You know, and they were just like, no, we're gonna do. So I was like, okay, and I just held on to it. So then like 3 months, and then during the 3 months now in between me pitching it to the publisher and eventually the conversation with John, I'm just fine tuning it and like putting it in like comic book form. And I'm like, this would be like a great like 6-issue miniseries, like to play the entire play. So then John and I eventually, I was on John's podcast to talk about the Minds Behind the Games, and we struck up a relationship. And it was just like, this guy lives 2 blocks away from me.
What?
Yeah.
Super
And it's
close.
like he super close, like a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
Like I could listen to like one like Metallica song and get to his house. Like it's ridiculous. You know, maybe like 2 Def Leppard songs, you know. So we would just talk and BS and stuff, and it would just be like, if you guys look behind John, all of that art, 95% of it he drew.
Yep.
There's
I
like
drew
one
all
picture
the art except for that one.
except for that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Everything else he drew.
Yeah,
The
you got
Constantine,
skills, my
the
God.
Batman. And I'm just, and then what happened was I had gotten John a couple of opportunities in the industry, and he had just knocked them out of the park.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, we would just talk. And then one day we were just like sick of just other people profiting off of our hard work. like John had this long conversation with me about something that had gone on with him, and he was well aware of the things that were going on with me, and we were just like, it was like again Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Do we do something crazy, or do we just stay pat and like keep things the way that they are and we were just like, yo, let's take a chance, let's do it. So we just started. It was like every Tuesday I would come over his house for like 4 hours, and we would just business plan, and then we're like, what are our initial books going to be? And John's going to tell you about Athos, which is, it's badass. And then I was just like, originally, we'll talk about it later, Kroom was one of the books that I wanted to, but it was like the job, it was like, because Condry is like my son,
Yeah.
but like the job is like that hot girl that you met in 8th grade that you just wish something would have happened with, but nothing ever did.
Yeah.
And she'll always be that beautiful girl, regardless of how she looks in Key Food 25 years later. You know, like it's just, so it's like, I love wrestling. I love noir. So it was just like, it just came together. It started off as a play, and now it's a comic, and now we're going to kick some ass doing it. So,
You know, I do have to say that I would be curious to see this as a play. Like, I really would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing that line, like, yeah. Gotta like sit back and go, man.
That might be something to look into later on. huh?
Yeah.
well, see,
yeah.
because that's the
Fine,
thing
Patrick.
too. Like, I was speaking to professional wrestling promoters that I know, and they were gonna like build like a makeshift ring that could be moved in and out off of the stage,
Oh,
and I was
wow.
gonna have wrestlers in the play like performing like some of the scenes and stuff like that, and like the main character was gonna actually train to become a professional wrestler so he could
That's
perform some, like we did so much groundwork for this, but I think it's going to be a dope comic book.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a really strong comic book. It's got
And you
great
still gotta play.
characters.
Oh man,
Yeah.
from everything that I've seen, like I'm not huge into wrestling. Like I have those belts only because I used to wrestle with my friends like back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But like, because I don't really like wrestling nowadays. I like the Attitude Era wrestling.
Oh, most,
Oh,
people,
so-
most American men do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, with this comic book, when Pat first pitched it to me, you know, about wrestling, I was like, I don't know, you know, like, okay, well, let me tell me what it's about, you know, tell me what's going to happen, you know, and tell me who the characters are. And he explained everything to me, you know, awesome, like he always does. And, you know, it was just, I was like, yeah, that's pretty badass, you know. So I was so on board. I was so on board.
Man. Man, you kind of jumped to the next question I was gonna ask Patrick about, like, you know, how y'all got Legacy Comics started and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to both hear from both John and you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Like how y'all found it? Like what, you know, what are the ingredients besides sugar, spice, and everything nice, like a pop-up girl?
Yeah.
But like, how'd y'all do it? And you know, what made you go, I'm gonna grab my nuts, you grab yours too, and let's make it happen, baby.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have this mantra about life where it's go big or go home, you know. So I do everything big, you know, as you guys can tell. So Pat had, you know, he was talking to me about his experiences within the industry, and you know, I have been in the industry for so long, and in some form or another, and I was frustrated as an artist because I had this great story for a universe,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to get it out, you know, and Pat had already built his universe, his Conjure universe, and I have to say that I was a little jealous, you know, and I was like, man, I want that so bad, you know, and you know, I was talking to him for I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months. It took a little convincing, like, Pat, you know, come on, let's do this, you know, let's launch a company, and let's launch a publisher, let's do this, let's get together,
Yeah.
you know, and then one day it was like, you know, he just surprised me. He's like, all right, you know what? The hell with it. Let's do it. And so and then the meeting started, you know, and then we spent hours on the phone and, you know, constant text messaging, so much so that my wife was like, oh, you're talking to Patrick again? Oh, geez. You
Oh
know?
wow.
My wife too. My
Was that
wife too. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it was just, it was so much communication between the both of us, and saying, not so much as sitting down with a piece of paper and a pen, putting down the rules, but saying, him and I conversing and saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to not do it this way, we're going to do it the right way, kind of, and we know, that artists and creators, really, writers too, make a really sucky percentage within DC and Marvel and the big guys.
Wow.
So we were thinking, all right, well, we'll offer people unreasonable amounts of royalties for their IPs.
Wow.
Which is understandable because it's their IP, it's their
That's
intellectual
definitely
property.
unheard of in really
Yeah.
any industry, man.
So, so we're kind of trailblazing the way in the industry in the sense of, okay, we're giving you guys the biggest bang for your buck. And we're putting out some really great books that nobody has ever seen before. And the politics of the company is, I think, unseen anywhere in independent comics. Okay, because nowhere, even Image, who promotes themselves as a creator-owned company, not even their owners are as accessible as Pat and I. Okay, like anybody could go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of our socials, and even the website, and send us a message, and one of us will answer. Not some robot, not some secretary, one of us. And it's about the communication, it's about the contact with the fans, and it's just, so when I approached him to start the company, it was really a no-brainer, and we set out to create a company that is so unique in the industry that nobody's going to be able to touch us.
Ooh, man. Some fiery words right there.
So the thing is, it's like, if you hear that, you're like, damn.
Right?
But we will prove it every single day.
Right.
By the simple fact of, like, again, if you go to our site and you see, since we went public, so to speak, on Monday, our site has been updated constantly. Our socials have been updated constantly. If you go through our messages, we have answered every single person. If you go on our Kickstarter, we have updates. We have updated our backers every single step of the way. We want them to feel like they are a part of the ride. Friday, we're going to go live again with some really cool announcements. You guys like the job. You're definitely going to like some of the things that we're going to say.
Next week is for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's just like, you can be bold when you put the work in, and it's not about being cocky or being from New York or having a swagger. It's, if you talk the talk, be prepared to walk the walk. And if you walk the walk, you could talk a little more, but you got to be prepared to walk a little more too. And we've been walking for a long time. So
Hey,
we're
do
gonna
the work,
talk a
man. You
little
got to
bit
do
too.
the work.
I'm
That's
feeling
it.
the aura, bro. Man.
So that's kind of like what's going on. And like I said before, it's like, the first time I was on John's podcast and I just looked at like his body of work and stuff, I'm like, this is a guy that could be doing so much more. Like, he is super freaking talented. And then I love my video game books. It's something that they're very close to me. I'll be doing them for a long time, but it's just like, Condry was the first thing that I ever wrote that I was like really serious about. And then it started to take off. And then, John's sick of it. John don't want to hear it anymore. Where it's just like, I felt like,
hell no.
no. But where it was just like, I felt like this could be so much more if we put it in the right hands. And then the more we talked about it, it's just like, we're the right hands, not somebody else. We're the right hands. So now it's just like, at first we were just going to launch the company and we were going to do 4 books, and Condry wasn't going to be one of the 4 books. But then again, John, if you guys listen to John, he's infectious. So it's like that, go big or go home. It's just kind of like, I'm pretty sure it was John that was just like,
oh wow,
why are you keeping Condry?
I was that little voice in the back of your head.
Hey, thank you for that too, man.
It's so weird to hear that from Patrick.
Yeah, because
Patrick, you're an infectious guy.
Yeah.
Because like after we
He
got
is.
our first because one, hey John, he's our first interview on our podcast.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
on top of that, it was like, oh my god, this guy is the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready to hit him, motherfucker. Oh, sorry, because and stuff, right? I'm ready to knock the dude out.
Yeah.
if I gotta do what I gotta do to make this podcast work.
Yeah.
Man,
my here.
our wives were probably getting sick and tired of us talking about you, Patrick. Cause like, man, he lit a fire
Aw.
underneath her.
Yeah,
we're gonna
thank
do
you.
this. We're gonna do that. Like,
Yeah,
I know
all
you're
the
one.
time.
You're one of the reasons. Honestly, I live on Instagram at work.
Yeah,
job
really,
is
you
probably-
are.
My job
You-
is probably like,
you-
why
you
aren't
got
you
to
doing anything? Cause Patrick told me I need to get my social game up. So it's
and it
getting up.
worked. And it worked.
Yeah, and it works. So man,
It works, yeah.
And so to hear
No
Patrick
problem.
go, yeah, John, yeah, he lit a fire on my ass going,
So-
you
Yeah, man.
needed
Yeah,
inspiration or
absolutely.
more motivation?
Yeah.
That's
And listen,
Absolutely.
any
y'all
help
gonna
that
blow,
any
y'all gonna
help
blow this bitch up. Y'all gonna blow up the
any
plane.
help you guys need, just let me know. Production wise, I've started
wow.
a bunch
Oh,
of
man. Thank
podcasts
you,
in my
man.
career. I put out TV quality shows. That
Oh, wow.
so just let me know, and I will try to help you guys out to the best that I can.
Thank you.
All
See, and that's like kind of part of our mission statement. So it's just like again, companies that I've been affiliated with, and this goes way past comics. This goes for magazines that I've written for, this goes for newspapers that I've written for, where like you're on a podcast and then it's just like the company doesn't like share the podcast, doesn't retweet it, nothing. So like you're gonna see that like once this podcast goes live, we're gonna host like a post on our site with your
Oh my
podcast.
God.
We're gonna
We're gonna blow
share
it up.
Thank you.
we're gonna blow it up. We want you to grow.
Thank you.
So the thing is, like, we're gonna do that with every single person that we work with. Whenever we get an artist, I'm sure you saw those AEW style videos, our little
Yeah.
parody of
that was
AEW.
super
Oh,
dope.
yeah, we
that was
we
super
just
dope,
watched
man.
that.
Yeah.
And that was
So we're
beautiful.
gonna do that for every single writer and artist that we have.
Here comes a new challenger.
Whenever
Oh,
we announce a
man,
new
that's-
writer, a new artist, a new character, we're gonna do that.
Even the characters in the books have promotion like that. I mean, come on. I mean,
You never hear that. But no, yeah, y'all phenomenal with
Well,
it.
see, again, that's the thing. So, like, when you think of indie comics or when you think of comics in general, a lot of people will be like, I love Spider-Man. And then you go, okay, name 5 artists and 5 writers on Spider-Man. John can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. But a lot of people
Ooh,
can't.
right.
And the reason why they
Average
can't is
American.
because comic book companies don't want writers and artists to become bigger than the series, because then they become Jeff Johns and they become Brian Michael Bendis and they can go anywhere they want and make a ton of money. And that's not what they
Right.
want to happen. What we want to do is we want our creator owned IPs to feel emblazoned by us, to feel like
Rock
they have been
stars.
like the rock stars, for the for the shackles to come loose for us, because they know we're going to promote them. We know that we're going to want to make money together, and we're going to push them as hard as we possibly can. So that's like really the difference between us. So like you've got John killing it with video and audio, then you've got me on social media promotion and maintaining the site, and then you have John as an artist leading the charge on the artist side of things, and then you have me on the side, on the writing side, editing everyone's comics. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it's like Road Dog and
Y'all are
Mr.
the
Ass,
perfect tag team.
you know.
Yes.
So it's just
I mean, this guy, he's a monster with editorial, with the stories, with the books, this guy, he's a beast. And, so everything that comes through the company as far as art goes on my desk, because I'm the creative director. So, everything, Patrick's like, I have this artist I think would be a great fit for a book. So I'm like, all right, let me see his art, and, he either gets a pass or a no, so, but yes, we are a creator owned company, and we like to treat all of our creators as rock stars.
Right.
But at the same time, we're going to try to keep up the quality of work and the quality of the books to a certain standard.
Yeah. Nah.
absolutely,
I agree. I agree.
absolutely.
Yeah. You got any questions for him, man?
Man, so so Patrick, we got to know you a little bit on the last interview. John, tell us about yourself. What got you started in all
Well,
the
I'm
endeavors that
39
you're
years
doing?
old, and I like long walks on the beach.
Oh, good
Uh,
Long walks.
no, I'm an artist. I've been drawing for basically my whole life, all 39 years of it. And I've started multiple companies in the past. I've sold companies in the past. Business is not a stranger to me. But at the same time, I'm a very creative person. I love to create, whether it be videos, graphics, websites, anything I can create visually, I'm on it. And you know, I've recently in the past 2 years I've started podcasting, you know, which was huge for me because as an artist, you know, typical artists are introverted.
Yeah.
You know, I was very shy. I wasn't really so outgoing. And, you know, so I said to a friend of mine, I was like, hey, let's start a podcast. And so we did it, and we introduced cameras, and, you know, so it was an evolution, I think, of how I am, because, you know, I was always so introverted, so shy. And this meeting has been upgraded. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
You know, so I have always been so shy and so introverted, and I never really thought that I would be good at doing this kind of thing, you know, talking on podcasts and doing video on YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun for me. You know, I've grown to love it, and I've grown to kind of master it. So it's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of like us doing this podcast. We started like maybe 2 years ago, and he came to me and asked me to do it, and I was like, no, I don't want to. No, because I'm kind of shy, man. I just, you know, except for when me and this guy are hanging out.
Right. You know, I do it with a friend of mine that I've known for like 30 years, you know, and it was so easy to just sit there and have a conversation, you know, and that eventually turned into, hey, let's introduce a camera, like kind of like you guys, you know, and then it was up to me, you know, because like I said, I go big or go home, you know, where I'm like, all right, I have to get the best camera. I have to get the best audio equipment. I have to, you know, set up the studio the way I want it to look, you know, and it's just, I do things right or I don't do them at all. So
respect on that. For real.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, man, tell us some more about some of your newer comics you have coming out.
I think John should definitely talk about Athos.
Oh yeah, let's hear about that one. Yeah, because
understood.
I like that one.
I like that.
Athos is really my brainchild from when I was 17 years old. You know, I've been holding on to him for over 20 years, trying to develop him and the universe that he lives in to a point where I can say, all right, now I can make a book, you know. And I think I suffer from all creatives syndrome, where I think anything I do isn't good enough, you know. So it's like Athos kind of sat on the back burner, kind of, you know, and he went through kind of different evolutions where, you know, his costume looked like this, it looked like that, you know, and like changed his look around. I drew him differently, and but I finally settled on his look. I settled on the universe, on the storyline. And I have to say that I'm like a little kid in the candy store, where I just want to show everybody what he's about, you know, and there's so many possibilities that his story can go down that I'm just so excited to be working on the project, you know. So it's kind of like Athos is your typical kind, I hate to say typical, but it's a superhero story. But he's kind of set in the real world, and his backstory, his origin is more on like the conspiracy theory kind of story.
Oh, okay.
So there's a conspiracy theory out there that says that there's this planet Nibiru circling around Earth, you know, every couple thousand years, and there's this race of people on there called the Anunnaki, who, you know, basically created humanity on Earth. Okay. So that's what his origins loosely based on, and his origins are based on aliens and the creation of humanity, and he's supposed to be a protector of Earth. He's kind of like one of those test tube babies, and you know, his main job is that he's the protector of Earth, and he winds up getting put into like this prison, this stasis, so to speak, on the moon, and he wakes up thousands of years later, and the Earth is totally different. There are mutants, there are people with superpowers, and he just wakes up and he starts killing everybody. Athos turns out to be the villain of the story right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a typical superhero kind of, good guy fighting bad guys kind of thing where, the story's about a bad guy. He's going around killing people like for real. And and I didn't want to do a story that was just like everybody else. I wanted
like
to do
like that though, that are real, you have that depth to them. They're not just
Yeah.
straight laced,
I said
Superman.
Superman. Everybody's
beat me to it.
Superman. Right, like Superman. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
No,
Goku's
he's not like Superman
now.
where he has the rules, he has the morals. I mean, he does, but he has it to the extent where he's woken up from a stasis, from 1,000-year-old stasis, and his mind is kind of warped.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes around and he finds these beings on the planet that supposedly he's been supposed to protect, and that have powers, and he starts killing everybody. He starts getting rid of people, protecting the regular humans. So it's a unique story because he is the villain. There are going to be heroes in the book, but those heroes are going to have to stop him, or have to change his mind, or have to set his mind straight, kind of deal, and it's definitely going to be an adventure to see.
Oh man, can't wait to read that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can tell us when that's going to be dropping? Because I'm a little excited about that one. I can't lie.
This one it's dropping the same time as all the other books.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah, dope.
Yeah.
So just to set everything up, our Kickstarter represents the launch of 5 books.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking Athos Zero, which will be the first. It's an Ashcan, so it's a 6-page comic. It's a sneak peek into the world. Yeah. Then we have Kroom Zero. Then we have The Job Zero. Then we have The Legend of the Night Owl Zero, and then we have Condry 4, which will be the only full 24-page comic in the Kickstarter,
right?
Because it's already been established already.
24-page in the Condry series.
In the Condry series.
Wow.
So this Kickstarter is super special because it's the realization of not only John's dream as a writer and an artist, but also Afrin Jambalai, the creator of Legend of the Night Owl. It's also his comic book debut. So you've got 2 diamonds in the rough in the comic book industry launching their series. Then you've got me, kind of like, this is like my coming out party in a way. It's like I'm writing 3 series at the same time. It's like a dream come true for me, especially like John knows this, like I grew up like idolizing people like Brian Michael Bendis and Jeff Johns that were just like super prolific, just kicking ass on so many different titles. So like to be that guy for this company means a lot to me, and it's just been great so far because, like I said, we were nervous before the Kickstarter. We knew that we put the work in. We knew that we were ready. I knew with me pumping out daily content for the site and John producing video and laying out the site and designing the site that we were going to look professional. And so many people told John and I, "Oh, the videos look a lot better than I thought they were going to look." And we were like, like, what did you think? Like, what did you think we were going to do? Like what, like we're putting everything. I mean, I walked away from a company that I had stability with, and like we all like we're taking a huge risk. Like I told John joking around, but I meant it too. It was like this could technically be the end of my comic book career. Like this could, like
that's deep to hear, man. That's pretty deep.
Yeah. Like if we don't get funded, then we're going to have to adapt, and I may never put out another print comic for the rest of my life. I don't know what could happen. So like we wanted to make sure that we did this the right way. And like I said, you guys are getting hyped for The Job. You're getting hyped for Athos. Legend of the Night Owl is a great book. Kroom is going to be a great book.
Oh, Kroom, man. Kroom, I like that concept, man. I really do.
Why don't you tell them about Kroom, Patrick?
Yeah, please.
Please. Yes.
Sure. So Kroom is the Kroom was born about 2.5 years ago. I was on a podcast with Jeff Paquette. Jeff Paquette is one of my favorite animators in the video game industry. He's animated games like Madden, Overwatch, Gladius. He was the senior animator on BioShock Infinite.
Oh,
very
wow.
nice.
But he has done animation on all the Ice Age films. Rio, like he's a rock star.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was talking about my first book,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm gonna pre-order it, blah blah blah, the whole 9 yards. And he just flat out said to me, he's like, if you ever want to get involved in the video game industry, let me know. And I'm just like, on the show live, I'm like, I'm letting you know.
Damn.
So then he was like he was gonna call me in 2 weeks, and he did, and he gave me this idea for this game, and he was like, and the name of the game was Treason in Space, and he was like, these are like what the characters are all about, blah blah, and I want you to like tell the story of the world. So I'm like, what do you mean, like write the story? He's like, yeah. So he basically gave me like the ribs, and it was like fill out the rest of the bones, put in the meat, all the skin, blah blah blah, blah. So we did that, and we started this game Treason in Space with a team that consisted of animators that had worked on like God of War, and like we had like 5 or 6 people where it was like, yo, we were gonna make a PS4 game like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We were like, oh my god, yeah. And then all of a sudden people started leaving the team, and then it went down to myself, Pete, and his brother Jeff, who is an amazing engineer and an amazing composer who I still work with. And it was like, why don't we do like a retro game?
Right.
And we loved games like Contra and Akari Warriors and Legend of Zelda and Ninja Gaiden. And we were just like, what if Zelda had a what if Zelda? What if Link had a gun?
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Everybody does that, right?
Gun.
What if Link had a gun and a sword? So that was like the gameplay model, like a top-down adventure RPG where the character had a sword for close combat and had a gun for long range. And we started designing it, and I wrote the story for it. We named the game Kroom, and then again, COVID, and then so it's just like, yeah. So that's the thing. So many projects that I know stopped because of COVID, but I never did stop. I just adapted and stuff like that. So then, what had happened was, when John and I started building this company, I was like, dude, I'm sitting on a great script. I was like, I want you to draw it with me. And I was like, what we'll do is we'll get Pete, because Pete's animated like the first 2 levels of the game. He's designed like the character, but we've only done like the first 2 levels in the game. So I wanted to get Pete's blessing on the design. Yeah. So poor John. So like we went through like, John, what do you say? Like maybe
we went through 8 different character designs.
Oh wow. That's working.
Yeah.
You working.
But by the time,
you know what, it's totally fine. It really is, because I've worked with clients before where they want changes and changes upon changes, but and I totally get it, because you know what, if it was my own creative, like Athos, if it was somebody I created, I would want the same thing from the artist. I'd be like, all right, no, change this, change that, change this, so just everything I got from Pete, was amazing. And the final rendition of Kroom is awesome.
Okay.
So now it's going to be not counting issue 0. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, and each level is going to represent 1 level of the game's design document. So meaning every issue
is going to be a level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh damn.
Which means every level is going to end in a boss fight.
Right.
So it's going to be, there's going to be, every issue is going to be exploration, building on the story, building on the lore, building on the background, but then just a kick-ass boss fight by the end of it. So it's like, I'm super excited. And like, John is an excellent traditional artist, but his digital stuff is badass too. So it's like, he's perfect to do a video game, like sci-fi, like adventure like this. So I'm really proud of the script. The script reminds me a lot, like if you guys are super big into gaming, it's like if you could combine the original Legend of Zelda with something like Celeste. You ever play Celeste before?
No, I've never played that before.
It's the same guy that did Towerfall. Matt Thorson. It's an amazing game that like just totally pulls at your heartstrings. Like there's not many indie games that make me cry, and this like by the time I finished it, I was like totally in tears. So
I don't think a game
it's
has
like
ever made me cry, but okay.
or like when Sephiroth killed Aerith.
Please don't make. Oh God, don't.
See?
I had that one slide on out of here.
Please, oh my God, you're about to make me start all over.
I don't think I got that far in Final Fantasy.
Oh man, that scene right
So
there.
so that's gonna be a lot of fun. So it's just like you've got Athos, which is like this non John says typical, but it's an atypical superhero tale. It's just
I only say
fun.
typical because it's superhero. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
guys weren't kidding when you said you're all doing things that haven't been done before. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And as
We
talk
cannot
about
wait
it-
for people to get their hands on these comics.
Oh yeah.
You know, like we can't wait.
And as you were talking about it, I'm picturing the automatopoeias that come out of there, sink, sink, ding, ding, and bang, bang, and pow, pow.
Yeah.
And I can see
Yeah, when
all these
when Patrick
automatopoeias.
first approached me for Kroom and he said that he had a gun and a sword, I was like, what?
Yeah, why not?
I was like, all right, this is gonna be interesting, you know. But it's so much fun to make a book with a guy with a sword and gun. It's awesome.
Man.
It's like Highlander meets RoboCop. That's
Yes.
like basically, you know,
Yes.
you know, that's kind of like if I had to compare it to something, it's like Highlander and RoboCop mixed. You know, Highlander
Hold on,
like
hold on.
finds its way into like everything I've ever done. So
There can be only one.
I'd like put like a Highlander and RoboCop.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trying to imagine it. just-
yeah, we put like a picture just so
Yeah.
people get the visual
Yeah.
on this interview because it was like I know you talking about because my ice broke watching Highlander.
Oh,
I knew my mom had friends who were like big like they like a DVD set, all that stuff, and like a bastard sword. Like that's
Yeah.
how big fans. I mean,
yeah.
and I'm like this 19-year-old kid trying to pick up this bastard sword. The bastard picking up a bastard, right? Anyway, I'm like, yeah, and you know, and it was like, yeah, I got a little boy, I'm gonna get out of here. And RoboCop, come on,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's some cool stuff.
mhm.
But so 2 questions within the name. Legacy Comics. Who came up with the name? Why Legacy? And who designed that baller ass L?
Yeah. I think I might know who did it.
I know, huh?
The branding of the company was kind of the both of us because we were sitting down here in the studio and we were shooting names back and forth. You know, we were coming up with all these different names and we were like, nah, you know, that's kind of cheesy or it's not powerful enough, you know. So Pat and I settled on Legacy because we want our creators to feel like they're creating their legacy, you know, like they're creating something historical within their lives. Okay, like, you know, they're making their dreams come true, and this is something that will change their lives. So we named it Legacy, and the L kind of came up kind of by mistake because because I was designing the intro to a video that we were producing, and I was doing some logo animations, some titles with Legacy, and you know, I was just toying around with the L, and you know, I was like, hey, what about this? You know, and we liked the way that the animation went. And I kind of just took a screenshot from what the video was doing, and that's where the L came from. And we were like, oh, we love it. We're gonna throw it on every book. That's gonna be in the upper left corner of every comic.
My man just Bob Ross it, man.
Yeah.
Happy little
That's
accident.
it. It's
Put
a
a little
happy
happy
accident.
tree just right there.
It's a happy accident.
Happy
That's exactly
accident,
what it
man.
is.
I love it.
It's funny too because it's like that happy little accident is just like it's a microcosm for everything that's happened over the past
Yeah.
like 6 months. It's like I was on a podcast and a happy little accident. I saw that this guy was a great artist, and happy little accident. Oh, he lives 2 blocks away from my house, and then
Right.
happy little accident. And it's just like stacked on top of each other, and then it's just
It's
like
fate.
yeah. And the thing is too, I think when you look at everything that John designs, everything is sleek and takes up the right amount of space. And there's so many indie comic book companies out there where their logo is just so dominant,
Right.
you know.
Oh,
And
man.
and ours, like it's it's stellar, it stands out, but it doesn't take over the entire page. So it's like, you
Right.
know, it's there, but it's not screaming at you at the same time. It's like, it's exactly like the way that it's supposed to be, where like your
that's
eyes go.
purposefully. That's
Mhm.
purposefully, because it's like, I want you guys to concentrate on the art. I want you guys to concentrate on the creators. You know, yes, the logo and everything about the company kicks ass, but at the same time, so does the art. So do the creators. So that's the point of it.
I feel you.
Yeah. Okay. You know, it's funny. My daughter actually designed the logo for our podcast. We were sitting there, we're like, hey man, well, I don't know about you, but I can't draw like a stick figure. Like that stick figure is not gonna be a
Me
straight
too.
stick, it's gonna be like this. And we're like, hey man, could you draw something for the podcast? We're just trying to think of a logo. And she's like, in typical teenage thing, oh, I don't know if I want to do it or not. And she goes up, yeah, she goes upstairs to her room and she comes down with this awesome logo. And me and Jim were like,
Is that really what it came
Yes.
from? I was like, there's a picture, and I'm
Yeah.
looking like, oh,
because
that's me. That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I asked her to draw it, and at first she was
word.
at first she was like, she didn't want to do it. And next thing you know, she comes downstairs and was like, here, I drew this, and we're like,
Damn, the three of us just learned
Yeah.
something because I
Yeah.
thought she was like,
Yeah.
I just drew you and
Yeah.
Chad.
Awesome.
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
no,
really?
yeah, no,
That does look like me.
Awesome.
That's my hair. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that is you, Chad.
that's me. I like wearing beanies, so
Yeah, he does.
she put a beanie on me. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Learning new
Yeah.
things every day.
Yeah. Hey man, look at
Even
you.
with my co-host here.
Yeah.
So, y'all probably never heard this question before, or maybe not. I don't know.
Mm.
The day y'all got all the funding that you needed from your Kickstarter within a few hours. Holy crap! Right? Like,
Yeah.
how did you feel? What was the first? How'd you feel? All that. Give me everything.
Yeah, I can see it on your faces. You
Look
guys
at
are
you.
you're like
Come on,
getting it
John.
high again. You're like, yes.
Pat, go ahead. You go first.
Sure. So it's so funny because before I left my house, I told my wife, I was like, if we get $500 today, I'll be like, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get 1,000, I'll be super happy.
Yeah.
And my wife just looks me dead in the face and she's like, you're getting funded today.
Oh, whoa.
And I was like, yo, from your mouth to God's ears. Like, and I just walked down the stairs, and then I walked the 2 blocks over to John's house, and John's dad was outside, and I joked around and I said to John's dad, I was like, yo, my wife said I can't come home today unless we get funded. So we better like figure it out, blah, blah, blah. John's dad wished us good luck and stuff. And then I reiterated that. I'm like, yo, listen, we get 500 today. That's like a good start.
Yeah.
If we get 1,000, blah, blah, blah. By the time I left to go pick up my daughter from school, we were already at like 1,000. And John and I were just like,
I was
This is
texting
gonna
you. I was like
happen.
1,100, 1,200, 13.
and it was like after I picked up my daughter, I ended up meeting my wife, and we went like shopping and stuff like that. And John is texting me updates, and I'm texting him updates and stuff like that. And I think it was like by dinner time we were funded.
Yeah.
It was like less than 5 hours, like before dinner time. And I mean, now we're like 1,300 over, and like
Oh, wow.
we're gonna announce some stretch goals, and like that's the thing too. Like we wanted to just say like we're
1,300.
there's-
No. We're 3,200, something like that.
no, I meant like 1,300 over
Oh yeah.
our
yeah,
funding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's so many other things that we want to do, and we're gonna announce stretch goals tomorrow and go into them some more on Friday and stuff. So it's just like there's so many people that are like, oh well, you guys are funded, and it's just like you don't pledge to a Kickstarter just to fund it. You pledge to a Kickstarter because you believe in the mission
Right.
and that you want to see the finished product. It's like a Kickstarter is like a really sexy pre-order,
Yeah. That- Get dressed.
So it's like,
Word.
so it's just like we have so much more that we want to do, and like we're gonna drop a bomb on Friday, man. Like I've been talking to John about this like all day today. Like we have already like procured some sexy stuff, and we are super excited
I'm tuning
over like
in.
what we're gonna
Yeah.
announce on Friday.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's like how I felt. The best part though was too, it's like this is like a really corny thing, but it's like John's wife was downstairs hanging out with us like as we were getting the numbers and stuff like that, and just like John and I have been talking a tremendous amount the past like couple of months.
Yeah.
And it's like I told John's wife, I was like, yo, I'm like, I barely spoke to my wife last night. I'm like, I owe her like a foot rub. I'm like, I have been like really like super like busy and stuff like that, and it's not fair, you know. And but like the numbers started coming in, and I saw like the look on John's wife's face, and she was just kind of like, you know what, my husband's doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we're good, yeah, we're doing this, you know. So it felt great.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, from my perspective, it was I didn't think we'd get it in the first day. You know, I didn't, let alone 5 hours. You know, and I thought it was going to be an uphill battle where we would spend weeks, because it's a 60-day Kickstarter, and we would spend days, if not weeks, trying to promote and get people to pledge. And but that's not what happened, and it totally blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know, like I was down here in the basement. Patrick left, and we hit 1,000, and then he left, and then I was like, all right, 1,100, 1,200. I'm like down here by myself. I'm like, oh my god, you know, like I'm freaking out. And I'm so excited because this is not only is Athos one of my dreams comics to make, but it's just the whole company as a whole, and I'm just so excited to get everything out and start building this up, that I thought it was going to be, I don't, dare I say, like, harder. It's kind of been a little easy because Pat and I kind of know what we're doing, as far as promotion, as far as creating the books. And, it's just like, all right, everybody's so stoked that they're contributing. And it's
that's a testament to you guys, man.
It's taking me like, oh my God, like, wow. Like, I am so appreciative of all of our supporters and everybody who's given anything to the creation of Legacy. And it's amazing.
So this is technically the 4th Kickstarter that I've been a part of. And I've been a part of 2 failed Kickstarters and 1 successful Kickstarter that was just like barely funded. And then this one, and I'm not counting like the ones at the other comic book companies that I've worked for that were already funded. So technically this is like my 6th Kickstarter. So I've been a part of 3 successful Kickstarters, 2 unsuccessful Kickstarters. And I think I've learned just as much from the successful ones as I have the unsuccessful ones. And one of the unsuccessful ones was on the first game that I did that I did voiceover on, the Padre.
Right.
And they had spent all of this money on a publicist. And I did like 20 podcasts and we weren't funded. And it hurt bad because the entire time I was like talking like the Padre. Yeah. So it was just like
the entire time I was talking like this, like the Padre, and
it was just like killing me. Like I was exhausted by the time that it was over. But what happened was we built up so much good faith in the indie game community that we eventually got signed to a developer that published the first 2 games. So part of me is just saying in my head, I'm just like, if those interviews were done before the Kickstarter, and then we would have went to Kickstarter, we would have been in a really good place.
Yeah.
And we probably would have gotten funded. We didn't do that here because in another Kickstarter that I was a part of that we got funded, the developer was really smart. And what he did was he established relationships in several social media communities. Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Discord, and didn't spend a dime. This guy did not spend a dime. He did not boost any of his posts, nothing. So what he would do is he had a group on Discord, a group on Reddit, a group on Facebook, 2 or 3 groups on Facebook, and 2 or 3 groups on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he would just post in them every day, like a normal, living, breathing person that loved video games. And so when he announced his project, everyone saw him for the person that was passionate about these things. So when he started a Kickstarter, they naturally donated. So, I mean, for the last 6 months, I have been in so many different groups, comic book groups, video game groups, pro wrestling groups, and stuff like that, and just posting every day, like stupid stuff. I'm in a wrestling group that has like 3,000 members on Facebook, and I'm just like, who has the best snap suplex? Every morning, just just a stupid question. Who's the hottest valet that you've ever seen before? You know, like just stupid stuff. And then people are like, oh, this guy, he's one of us, blah, blah, which I am. And so doing this for, doing stuff like that for 6 months, you sneak in every once in a while. Oh, by the way, I'm also working on a wrestling comic. And then people will be like, a wrestling comic, and then in the comic book group that I'm in, oh, by the way, I'm a journalist. I'd love to interview any other creators out there. So then you build up good faith in the community. And then it's just like, oh, wait, you know what? I'm also a creator too. So then when we went to Kickstarter, we had built up such a good relationship with so many amazing people that when we launched the Kickstarter, so we have less than 1,000 followers on Facebook. We have less than 200 followers on Instagram, but we're funded. It's because the right people know that we're good and the right people appreciate us. And those are going to be, that is so much more important, having the right people invest in you and the right people care about you than having 6,000 followers and stuff like that. So we're going to get those numbers. We're going to get those big time numbers in followers eventually. But right now we have people that care enough about us that they're willing to invest in us. And that's so much more important than spending so much money boosting your posts and having 10,000 followers that are like automated, like robots and stuff like that. We don't have any of that, so all of that, all of those mistakes and all of those successes help pave the way for the success that we're having right now.
Yeah, I mean, none of our posts or promotional material has been boosted or paid for.
Never.
We've never paid a dime for any promotional material.
Damn, that's good.
Man,
that's good.
Yeah,
man, that's a testament. I mean, just from us talking to you guys, man, you guys are people we can rally behind.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We're comic book fans ourselves, and man, we can't wait for these comics. I can't lie. I was at work when you guys got fully funded. Now that my desk, like, let's go.
Yeah, see, that's the excitement we want to
that's
see.
That's how I felt, man. I'm just so excited for you guys. And John, I hadn't met you yet, but we know this guy, Patrick, down here, and just from talking to you, John, now, like,
we see why you got a tag team.
You guys, you guys are going to take over the world, man. We can't wait to see it. We really can't.
It's like the thing too. It's like John's not a tag team wrestler. John's a singles guy.
Oh,
and I'm not a tag team wrestler either. I've been doing this by myself for a really long time.
Those are the best tag teams, though, honestly.
But that's the thing. So it's like if I'm gonna tag with somebody, I'm gonna tag with somebody that I know can carry the weight. It's like John and I were BSing today, and he was just like, "Yo, it's Sunday, take it easy." And I was just like, "Nah, man, we." And I was like, "Nah, man, I gotta."
I'm spending the day with my family. Relax.
But then I'm sure like Monday or Tuesday or whatever, John will be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm sitting on my ass. I ain't doing nothing." And John's like, "Oh, I got to do this." But so it's just like there's constantly somebody pulling the weight. It's like if I could compare us to anybody, it would be like the Oakland Raiders backfield. It would be like Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson, and it was just like two people that do complementary work but all do the same thing. So like our end goal is to get into the end zone and score, but we both do it in completely different ways. And we both respect each other enough to like never get in each other's way and to always support each other. So it's just like, it's a really solid working relationship. I'm like the overthinker. I'm like these are all the possibilities. This is what we could do. And John's like, yeah, those can all happen, but it's not going to happen because it's us. So let's just shut up and do it and chill out. That's this thing. Chill out. Let's do it. So it works out good. It works out really good. So we are super excited. But John, I think we really messed up.
How?
I think we really messed up because we have 5 books.
Yeah.
5. I feel like I'm in the dark order now.
Yeah.
Or Booker T.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Booker T. Yeah. You have the hair. I don't have the hair. But we have 5 books and we only mentioned 4.
Oh.
So do you want to talk about Legend of the Night Owl, John, or do you want me to?
No, you go ahead.
Sure. So Afram Jambalai is an old high school friend of mine. Sure. He was like the coolest guy in high school. He's a year older than me. He's an actor. He's been on Daredevil, Law and Order.
He's a legitimate actor. Like he has an IMDb. He's been on Netflix and all this other stuff.
Wow. He's also a black belt in Shotokan. He's a legit ass kicker. He's got a great following on social media. He's CGC verified, which means like he sends your books to be graded by the CGC. Like he's again, I say rock star a lot, but he's a rock star.
Yeah.
The same way that I feel that like Kieran Quinn is probably one of the best independent comic book artists that no one knows about yet. Is the same way that I feel about like Afram's story, The Legend of the Night Owl. So this is a guy that has all of this experience. And he's writing a kung fu noir, basically. That's basically like what this is.
Noir?
God dang,
Noir.
y'all love noirs. First of all,
Yeah.
y'all love some noir stuff.
We do.
I have a theory, but I'm gonna let you finish talking about this. I just want to say, but
So it's basically set in like Brooklyn now, but it's just like hyper violent, and I'm not gonna give too much away,
That's cool.
but it's just a story of two people that are just destined to understand that their fate is so much different than anyone could have ever expected. And it's like you're gonna look at these characters, and you're gonna think that one person is gonna be the ass kicker, and he is. But the person that you least expect to be the ass kicker is going to be something so special. And so it's like, I know you guys are video game guys.
Yes.
So it's like, if you could combine like The Warriors, the movie,
yeah,
Okay.
and like Streets of Rage, and add,
Okay.
and add in like some Brooklyn, some Biggie Smalls,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you'd have Legend of the Night Owl.
oh yeah. Sign me
So
up.
it's a book that we're super excited about. So, and the thing is too, if you guys like the art of Condry,
yeah.
Yes.
you're gonna love this because it's the same artist.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah.
so like the same way that Legacy is giving me an opportunity to take my writing and editing skills to unparalleled levels. We're really investing in Kieran Quinn. He's on 3 books. We believe in him. So he's going to be doing The Job, which takes place in the Condry verse. He's going to be doing Condry, and he's going to be doing Legend of the Night Owl. So we've got all sorts of, we've got a book for everyone. We have strong female characters, we have strong male characters, we have characters of all shapes, sizes, races. And it's not forced. We're not pandering to anybody. We're writing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank
you.
That's super
Yeah.
important. Man.
We're not trying to jump on a bandwagon, you know. We're not trying to,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
We're exhausted. It's just like there'll be times when like John will message me and show me like a headline about like the character and be like, what happened? Why did they do that for?
Right. Why?
You know? And,
Why?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I
You know,
got an
and-
example of that too, but I'll talk about that
and I
later.
mean, yeah, but you know, it's just like we've worked really hard to have 5 stories that cater to very different audiences. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite parts of Condry is like, one of my wife's friends got the book and she's like in her 40s and she doesn't read comics, but she pledged to our Kickstarter and she's read all 4 issues of Condry and she's like, I cannot wait to see what's next. You know, so it's just like that's what we want. We want traditional comic book fans. We want people that are just looking for a different story. We want people that are looking for something different. You
Yeah.
know, so when you pledge to our Kickstarter, you can pledge for any one of those 5 stories. If you just want Athos, you could just get Athos. If you just want Legend of the Night Owl, you could do that. If you want all the books digitally, you could do that. If you want everything physical, you could do that. If you want something sexy, like it's signed and remarked and stuff like that, we will do that too. There's so many different ways that you can support us. And that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, because we understand that there's not one size fits all for a comic book reader, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I said, like, we only mentioned 4 out of the 5 books, and I feel like we have 4 amazing people on this team. And like it's funny because when we went to Free Comic Book Day, we were doing a signing for Condry at Free Comic Book Day, and I was joking around with Afram and Kieran and John, because John was signing 2 of the variant covers that he had done, and I was like, yo, we're like the 4 horsemen, you know. There's but there's like no Paul Roma in here, you know. Like this is a strong group, and like we're focused on delivering excellent content. So it's just like, even if we bring in a variant cover artist or a guest writer or something like that, they are going to be held to a standard
Absolutely.
that we feel is important, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's just like when we audition somebody or if we have somebody do a variant cover and stuff like that, they got to pass, you know, they got to pass the John, you know, litmus test. If there's a writer and they're writing a script, they're going to sit down with me and we're going to go through that script, you know, and we're going to hold them accountable and we're going to put out top-notch work. So that's what we're looking to do. So like, again, so if you guys support our Kickstarter, that's what you're doing. You're supporting not only our dream, but you're supporting brand new adventures and you're supporting adventures that will take you back to the days when you were a kid reading comics, discovering them for the first time. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. And even though we are funded already, doesn't mean that you should stop giving, you know, because we're going to be coming out with stretch goals. We're going to be coming out with some awesome rewards that we don't have on there now. You know, like we have so much planned in the sense of stretch goals that it's like we're excited to reach these stretch goals because we want to put these things out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just just stay tuned for more information.
Oh, will do.
Oh, absolutely.
Like bottom line, like John and I were talking about it the other day, and we were just like, the reason why we came up with the number that we did is because the most important thing was to get the money to print the books.
Yeah,
and
that's it. That was it. Just to cover the printing, and that was all we cared about. It was just cover printing. As far as promotion, anything else went with as far as within the company, you know, we didn't care about really so much as just the printing. We wanted to get all of our books out.
All right.
Mm-hmm. But now we're in a great spot now because now we can say, oh, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. Yeah. So it's up to people that haven't pledged yet, that are interested in what we're doing, to say, you know what, now not only can I pledge because I want the product, but now I can pledge because I will, in my own way, be single-handedly responsible for taking this product and delivering things that wouldn't have been made available without me. You guys are getting on the ground floor and becoming the engineers of the foundation of this company. So,
well said.
Wow, man. What about in the future? So since y'all got a Kickstarter, well, go ahead, ask the question.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's what I was going to ask. So, as far as the future of Legacy Comics, what do you guys have in mind that you could tell us?
Well, we have a couple of things that we have in mind that we aren't really comfortable with telling right now, but you know, as far as the immediate future goes, you know, we're going to put out some great books in the next couple of months. We're going to be opening the doors to new creators, new teams that are already established together. Like if you have an artist, a writer, a letterer, a colorist, you know, then come on over. We will publish your book. And, you know, the future of the company is to basically keep promoting the books, keep promoting the artists, the creators, as much as we can, and just treat everybody, like Patrick said, like rock stars, you know. And the future of the company is just growing, you know, and just becoming the best that we can be, and just expanding the properties into other things, not just comics. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
And I will say that we're being cryptic for a reason, but
yeah, for sure.
we've planned, like over the past 5 months, we've planned things far well into the future. Yeah. And what I can say is it's going to be a lot of fun. And I will say, I'll give away one thing that John and I have already given away on the live. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I've been in negotiations with a video game developer for 2 months on 2 different versions of a Condry video game for 2 different consoles. So that is very much actively in development, talking to programmers, pixel artists, the whole 9 yards. So it's just like, that's the beginning. You know, the fact that like the comic has only been out for like 8 months and like people are already talking video game, not only does that make me feel excited, but that makes me go, well, Athos can fly. So that would make for a really cool video game too.
Yeah.
And then I go to those guys, well, after we do this, why don't we do this, or why don't we make another team and do this both? So like we're very much interested in building these characters. And then this is the thing too, there are not many comic book companies that out of the gate have as much merch as we do. We have really sexy merch. We have great t-shirts, we have phone cases, we have like thermoses, jackets, book bags. Like we want people to like represent the legacy nation, so to speak, you know.
And not only is it, you know, legacy logo merch, but it's also character merch. You know, we also have Athos t-shirts, Condry t-shirts. You know, we're gonna have Legend Night Owl t-shirts. So you know, we're getting very specific as far as the merch. It's not just the company as a whole.
It's cool that you have artists and stuff like that, so it's gonna look real sexy. So like the merchandise is gonna look just.
I can't wait to see
nice.
that.
It's gonna be so much, guys. It's gonna be so much fun. And then this is the thing too. It's like it's gonna be epic. It's like, think of it this way. As much as I love like the big three, comic book companies, and even the big four, so like Marvel, DC, Image, and Dark Horse, I love all four of them. And I'm not ashamed to say that I own my own comic book company and I love all four of those companies. I don't go to their websites every single day.
No.
Because it's like I rather just see if they're on Twitter, see if they're on Facebook, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We are going to have daily updated content on the website. On legacycomics.com. You're going to learn more about these books. You're going to connect more with the creators than you have with any of your other series that you read in other books. So it's just like the future is going to be a lot of fun, and we want you guys to all be a part of the brand. We want you guys to get to know us. None of our Facebook or Instagrams are set to private. Like you can see pictures of my kids. You can see, you know, pictures of me in my man cave playing video games. You can see me like, you know, at the comic book store. Thank you. Holding up, like I bought Moon Knight 1 the other day, holding up Moon Knight 1. You know, it's like, that's what we want. We want the people in this company to be front and center, and you're going to see a lot of that in the future. So this Kickstarter is over in January. We're already funded, so those 5 books are coming out. They're going to be available digitally. They're going to be available physically. We are open to doing signings. We are open to doing tons of things.
And we've already got agreements with mom and pop comic book shops in Northeast to have our books displayed in the stores, which is awesome.
Man, y'all living a dream, man.
Hell yeah, y'all.
We're ready, you know, and this has not been, you know, John said, you know, he didn't think it was going to be so easy, but I know John doesn't mean it like that, because it's
no,
because we've put in so
don't get me
work.
wrong, it's a lot of work. It's so much work. Like I have ignored my family, my wife, my kids. You know, I have 4 kids. You know, so it's like I just, you know, I'm like, you got to give me time. You gotta just leave me alone.
No, I understand. I understand.
You know, so we are super excited. We believe in all 5 books. We're gonna have a ton of announcements. So this is the thing. This is not a race that we're running right now. This is a marathon. So we have 58 days left in this Kickstarter. We were funded day 1. We are going to be trying to get all over the place. So we want to get to those stretch goals. So we need as much support from as many different people as possible. But the really cool thing about doing a 60-day Kickstarter, which is different from most people just do 30. And the reason why we wanted to do 60 is because halfway through this Kickstarter, we're going to be finished with our comics. So the thing is, people that have already backed us, those are like our hardcore OGs, you know? Yeah. And then there's going to be so many people that are like kind of on the fence, and then they're going to see what we finished. And if they're not excited, then they were never going to get excited. Then they kind of have to like check their pulse. But it's going to be a special moment, because midway through this Kickstarter, we're going to be like, boom, we got this. And then we really expect to like have the respect of the people that not only backed us, but the people that will back us, because they're going to see that like all of this talk, all of this high-end video production, all of this nonstop content in your face
Yeah.
was done in a meticulous formulaic way because we are that serious about the product that we're putting out. So
Right.
get ready because we're coming.
I got an interesting question to ask you, Patrick.
Sure.
Let's fast forward to the future. Say, hell, a year to 5.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 3. Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon.
Netflix.
TV show country. TV show country. I already hear you over there,
Yeah.
man. I see you, John.
Oof, that's so hard. So it's just like I would say whoever gave me the most. John's gonna laugh when I say this.
Okay.
Watch John's face. You ready?
Okay.
He's looking down. Whoever gives me the most control over the character.
That's a baller answer.
That's it, man. That's it.
That's the answer.
John's gonna choke. But like, yeah, whoever is willing to give me enough control over the character to make sure that like he's portrayed properly. So it's just like, you know, there's some great comic book inspired shows that are out there, and then it's just like I see a show like Resident Alien where like Peter Hogan's comic is so different,
Right.
and it's like I like the TV show, but I love the comic. So it's just like I would never want somebody to kind of like take what I think Condry is supposed to be about and make it something completely different. So it was just like I would have a long talk with whoever gave us the most bang for our buck and be like, listen, this goes back to something that John says all the time, like let's go big or go home. But also like with me, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of like where I would be. So out of the 3, personally, I'm a Hulu guy. I love Hulu. I watch Hulu all the time. But the thing was like Netflix got into my skin a little bit when they started cutting all of the TV shows, because I like watching like Rick and Morty and, you know, all like the episodic stuff.
Yeah.
And but Netflix, I loved Daredevil and Luke Cage and Stranger Things, and they all have something. So it's like if I was made of money, I would have all of them. So yeah. So
Yeah, and it's you know, I respect your answer a lot when you said creative control, because and like kind of getting back to the whole pandering thing you said earlier, and I said I'll get back to it. I'm surprised we can like segue like that. Because I don't know if y'all heard, because you know, speaking of video games, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, right?
Oh my
And I don't know if y'all
goodness.
heard.
we were
You know,
just
the
talking
movie
about this,
sucked.
John, right?
I mean, the first 3 was cool, but then the rest sucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Next
y'all heard
month
about
they're
it.
coming out this month.
Yeah.
They're coming out with the good. With the,
Yeah, it's like
heard.
is it like a I guess a reimagining of the series, because it's not.
Yeah, I
I
think
guess-
so. Like,
yeah.
Welcome to Raccoon, but like
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard about this other one, like it's a TV episodic show. But Wesker's black, bro. And I'm a
Yeah.
black guy saying, what the fuck are y'all doing? Because Wesker's a
Yeah.
white guy
Yeah.
wearing shades at night. It's only 3
Yeah.
people, 3 types of people
Yeah.
that wear shades at night. Assholes, Terminators, and Amber Wesker, all right?
Terminator.
And-
So
That's
he's
a
a
good
white
Corey
dude.
Hart.
point.
That was a
That's a
white
good
dude
point.
with blonde hair. And I was like, okay, he's established. I like him as a villain. And really, originally, to kind of nerd out with you guys, he was supposed to be dead. Even like SD Perry, you know, who wrote like all the Resident Evil books, which I love the detail
I
about
have
that.
every single one of them.
Word, oh, thank you. Thank you. You have to like at least listen to audio. But anyway, I've heard they made a black guy got 3 daughters, and I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
This was an interesting phone call. He calls me. I'm at lunch. He's driving. And he's like,
oh my god.
"Did you hear?" I'm like, "What?" Like Wesker's black, and I'm just.
I was mad.
I just started laughing because I could tell by his voice. I'm like, "This bothers you, don't it?"
It
He's like,
does. And I'm a black
And
man.
that's
too.
what
I
we
do
were talking
being
about
black on a
before
TV
with
show.
pandering and jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to
Exactly,
pander, man. It has
Yeah.
to be natural and organic. If it's not
Right.
natural and organic,
Man,
the
nah.
fans like this
Like
guy.
myself.
This guy can tell.
And it-
Yeah.
Don't it sound crazy
yeah.
that a black guy's complaining about a character who was once white become black?
It just has to be
Oh my
done
God.
right. It's like perfect example. It's just like I'll give you like a good and bad of
Okay.
it. So it's like the Daredevil movie. I didn't think was as bad as people said.
I know you're talking about.
And the thing is, Michael Clark Duncan was
Mhm.
solid as Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he like a perfect choice? I think Vincent D'Onofrio in the
Oh, he
Netflix
killed
is
that.
so
Oh, he's
much
so
better.
much
He killed
better.
that.
He's the man.
He killed that.
But Michael Clark Duncan wasn't poorly cast. So that's like the good side of it. I understand giving everyone an opportunity to like perform a role. I'm fine with that. But it's just like if you were gonna do
Yeah, but then you have Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl.
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
I
it's like
imagine Jimmy Olsen being this scrawny photographer, the one on Supergirl, this big jack dude. I'm like, man, you can stop bulls with your chest, bro.
Like, damn, Jimmy. You know,
well, like the bad side of it is like sometimes it even happens with people of the same skin color. It's like Topher Grace as Eddie Brock. Are you serious?
Yeah, no way.
Like, no way. And it's just like
that is one of the worst
doesn't work.
castings.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
That was horrible.
You know.
Right.
So I can see it in both ways, you know, and it's just like Topher Grace was like hot at that time, like everybody liked him and stuff. So it's just like, again, you say to yourself, oh, you pander to what you think is going to make the most money, and or what is socially acceptable at the time, and jumping on the bandwagon and this and that. So
yeah, we're not about.
We won't do that. We're not about that at all, you know. And that's the thing. Like, if somebody pitches us a product, we don't look at them. We look at the product. Like, what are you pitching? Can we all be successful? You know, like
how good is the art?
Yeah, how good is the art? How strong is the narrative? Like that's the way it is, you know. And it's like we're from New York, so it's just like we in our neighborhood, every house is like a different person, is like different culture, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so we're all about like promotion of like as many cool people as possible. If you're cool and you're willing to work hard and you can make deadlines and you care, you're going to be great with us. That's what we want, you know. Like, again, to go back to like the 4 horsemen, we don't want a weak link. If we bring you in, we don't have to want to worry and be like, oh my god, here we go, what are they going to do here? Like, we want to just build a really strong team. So like over the next couple of years, we're going to really start to fortify, and we're really going to start to build these universes up, build this universe up into something really special. And we're all going to have to work super hard, you know. We're all going to have to sacrifice, and we already have, you know. So we are super excited about the future.
Oh man, I'm excited for y'all.
Yeah. Oh,
thank you,
man.
Are y'all gonna be wearing suits and ties now?
No.
I'll be like, nah.
No, those days are over. I've done that before. No thanks.
I think the last time the last 2 times I wore a suit and tie, Halloween, because I did like this last minute cosplay where I was like Peter Parker at like the Daily Bugle, and I had the Spider-Man mask on.
I saw that costume. That was actually pretty
and
good. That was a good idea.
Thank you. One of my friends in Comic Sense, I was telling him, I was like, what should I do? And he was just like, what do you have? And I was like, I have a Spider-Man mask. And he's like, oh, you could be like Peter Parker coming out of like the Daily Bugle, put a camera around your neck. I'm like, oh my God, my daughter loved it. So it was like, yeah, thank you. But besides that, the only other time I wore a suit was like when I was a ring announcer at Battle Club Pro, a couple months ago. Yeah. But it's like away from that. I mean, I'm wearing a Roman Reigns shirt underneath my Red Wings jersey. So it's just like, I'm a band tee, wrestling shirt.
Too, huh? I'm wearing a podcast.
I love the bloodline.
You know?
You say Harry Potter?
Say no podcast.
Oh, this is a Harry Potter.
I'm wearing a podcasting t-shirt. Yeah. Subscribe, rate, and review.
Oh, nice.
I'm wearing.
So, and that's the thing though, too. It's just like, I've been a college professor for 15 years, and my students joke around with me all the time. Like when I used to walk into the class the first time, or now when I go on Zoom the first time, they're like, you're the professor? And I was like, you just judged me. And I was like, I will never do that to you. I was like, I will help you get better at what you want to do. I will be brutally honest with you. I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to critique you, but I'm going to demand that you be the best version of yourself. I'm sure I've done this to John too, and John's done it to me too. Like,
and he'll give you an F. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you could take the class again with me, and let's try again, you know? Yeah. So it's like, we don't do that to other people, you know? But we want to help people get better. You're going to see like when this podcast comes out, you're going to see like how much we respect what you do, you know, the same way that we hope that you respect what we do. And that's what we want to do. And I'm a firm believer, my wife is a firm believer in karma, in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And eventually it comes back, you know? So that's what we've been doing for the past 5 months. We've been laying the groundwork of like, okay, how do we set this up in a way where the seeds are there and we can grow these seeds, and then we can start planting other seeds, and then we can start talking to this person who's going to lay a seed for us, and that seed's going to help them grow, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what we're about. So again, we're super excited.
excited for you,
No,
man.
man, absolutely.
Thank you.
I just got one last question. It's not gonna have
Sure.
anything to do with the comics. So I see you guys are big like TV movie fans. What's one of your favorite TV shows that you happen to have watched this year?
John, you want to take this one first?
Oh, yeah, that's a question, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't really watch too much TV because I have 4 kids and they hog it all. But I do
understand
watch
that.
a lot of Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I've been binging NCIS.
Oh, my wife
I
is
like-
watching that, and she like ignores me at nighttime.
Yeah.
She's like, "It's NCIS time." She gets
Yeah.
the iPad and she just watching it.
I've been binging
NCIS is really good.
NCIS.
Oh,
Here in the
man.
studio, if I'm sitting here drawing or doing whatever, I have NCIS on in the background.
Word.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Patrick?
So I've fallen in love with Solar Opposites on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have watched
Oh, yeah.
I watched the first 2
I started
seasons.
Season 2, kind of get to it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
like,
not, yeah.
but I'm
Season
doing
2 is not as good.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Like
So
that.
that's what I thought because I really
Season
like
one's good.
season 1. I watched the first episode of season 2, and I was like, man.
Yeah, and I'm on episode 2, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
hmm
don't do that. So I feel
But I love Rick and Morty. I wish there was more South Park during the pandemic because I
I
just
love
felt like
South
South Park.
Yeah. Oh, they have a new season.
Dropping
Well, a new
gems.
episode is supposed to. I think coming out this month. I want to say.
hmm
Yeah, they have a new episode.
I've been watching I watched like all of Mandalorian.
Oh, yes.
What if there was a couple of episodes that were really great that I like the Doctor Strange episodes. I
Oh,
felt
the
like
doctor.
really hit.
Oh man, oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
it
still
was
have
so
yet to
good.
see that.
It's
Oh,
pretty
really
good, but it's just like
it's good. I haven't
a couple of
finished
them were a
myself
little
yet.
weird.
Yeah, I didn't care for
like-
the first one when Peggy was Captain America. I didn't really care.
I was
for
cool with that.
I didn't really care
I
for
was
that
cool
one
with
too much.
I mean, I get why in some cases, but it's like
Yeah.
it's an interesting
Yeah.
story.
I think too, like as much as I love Black Panther, I can't imagine him being Star-Lord the way that they did it
And that's
because it's like
funny.
they're both so individual,
Yeah.
But it's like I love what they did with the characters around and like how
Yeah.
T'Challa
Yeah, no, that was
influenced them,
Yeah.
like how Nebula turns out, how Thanos turns out. That was all great.
Yeah, that
Thanos.
was- yeah.
Oh, God.
So it was a lot of fun. So I've totally like Disney Plus is totally an amazing investment. Like I love
yeah.
I've loved all of the stuff they've put together during the pandemic. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And a lot of Snapped for some reason. My
Snap.
wife and I watch Snapped all the time.
That's funny, 'cause
you're
you made that
preparing.
reference earlier when we first talked to you.
Ah, you're
Before I took
preparing
off.
just in case
Yeah.
things go wrong, huh?
Mhm. So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Shoot, seems like we running dry on questions. So
Okay.
the only thing I can ask for y'all at this point is man, socials and some more socials, man. Where can they find you? Your Kickstarter, all that stuff,
Yeah.
man. Individual socials if you want, of course,
Yeah.
on Legacy Comics, please.
Yeah, man.
Let everybody
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Everybody
Go
go
to-
search for Legacy Comics. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, facebook.com/Legacy Comics.
COMIX.
Yes, with the IX, comics with an X. So even though, like we had said before, like we are funded already, head on over there, pledge to us, and give us a little something. And, this way we can grow. This way we can start giving you guys more than what we had originally promised, because we have so many plans. So we're available on the official website, legacycomicswithanx.com. You can reach both Patrick and I through the official website, through any of the social media platforms. He and I both manage the platforms. So go check it out.
All right.
Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Hey,
no
yeah.
problem, man.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for
Anytime.
sure.
Anytime.
We
That's
love
awesome.
we love what you guys are doing, man. Keep it up. Like I said, you guys are going to take over everything, man.
Thank you.
That's the dream.
It's a whole new dynamic. So y'all
Yeah,
changing.
yeah.
Y'all like the AEW of comics.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that so bad earlier.
Yeah.
I did.
That is-
I wanted to.
That, you know what? That is you know what?
Man.
That is a perfect way to describe them, man. You're
Changing the landscape of
Yeah.
comics and how y'all do stuff, man.
yeah, man. I can't wait for
That's
these
it.
comics. I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Man,
Thanks,
all right.
man.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you guys for coming again.
Appreciate
And
it.
well, this is your guy Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And together with Fusion High, and we are out.
Y'all can't even see. Hold up, did that. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.